Hey, it's quarantine time, woohoo! No, but don't be bored, be creative. Let's make something.
Since we're making a dump pouch that will probably take a little bit of abuse, we're going to use, this is a 1050D denier nylon. It's like super abrasion resistant, everything. It's really nice material and it's real heavy. It's got a kind of a, like a rubbery back on it, sort of. Anyway, this I made this this chest rig out of the same material, and it's really burly. Okay, here are all of our pieces. The bottom piece, the main bag piece, goes around, and then these two pieces will go together, and that will be the kind of holder thing and the flap. So those guys go together. Here are the pieces that we need for the flap. So this is the double flap. It's not stuck together yet, but I will stick it together. And this is called bias tape. I bought this at Sailrite. And it's like two-sided tape, and it just, you stick it on there and it kind of holds it, and so you don't have to pin it and stuff. This stuff is great. So you've got those flaps, you've got 3 pieces of webbing. When you cut this, I buy this stuff like in the roll, but take a lighter or something and just singe the end of it so it doesn't ravel. So we've got the 3 pieces of webbing here, and then 2 fuzzy sides of Velcro and 1 crunchy side. Right side's out. I'm going to sew the pieces of webbing, like the piece of Velcro is going to go at the bottom here, and this is 2-inch Velcro, or hook and loop, I guess, gotta call it. So it's going to go there, but they won't go on until after the binding, so that's like 2 inches. So I'm going to go 3/4 of an inch up from the top of that, and that's where I'll start the webbing. So right about there. And then all 3 pieces will go here, like that. So I'm using binder clips. These little things are great for this sort of thing, where it's hard to pin it. Like, this webbing is thick. It's like a dog collar like thickness. And then the 1050 denier ballistic nylon is no treat either to pin. So clips work good for that. Already over at the machine now, and to add to the utter excitement, I just got this brand new machine and I have not used it yet. So this ought to be good. I'm terrified. It's a total big girl machine. Let's see. There we go. So, not too bad. So we've got the webbing sewn on, and now we're going to put the binding on here. This is just like a kind of a ribbon, and I'm just using hairpins, like bobby pins, because again, I hate pinning, and this stuff is so thick and so like stiff, it's difficult to pin. So these work great without making holes or anything. So the tricky part of this, when you do a binding like this, is getting the corners neat. So I'll try to show you how to do it. So bring it right to the end, pinch it tight, and you want to keep this very last section on top and bottom as tight to the end as you can, like that. And then you're going to take this, you know, I pre-fold this so you have kind of a crease to follow. It just makes it a little easier to eyeball. Okay, so you're pinched like right towards the end. Then you're going to take that and go that away. And see how it kind of naturally makes a 45 there. Whoops. Kind of naturally makes a 45 there. And just get it kind of tucked under there the best you can. I know it's not the greatest view. It's kind of hard to explain how to do this. It's a little tricky, but once you do it like once, you can get it. So the top, and make sure the bottom is the same. Sorry, I'm zoomed in so tight I don't have any space to move here without getting out of frame. I'll back up a little bit, it might be easier to see. It seems even more fiddly because I'm trying to keep it in frame on the camera. But again, your little binder clips are good for this because it really locks it in and gives you a chance to kind of mess with it and get it all tidied up a little bit. Like that. Then you just continue on. So when you get to the end here, do your last corner and then take the very end of your ribbon and fold it over. Give that just a little pinch press. And that way when you overlap where you started from, it gives it a nice neat edge so that won't ravel or anything. And then you sew it on. Always backstitch too. There's no point in risking your stitching coming undone for no reason. I just have my machine so slow that it's putting up a little fight. When you pivot on these corners, make sure you bury your needle, meaning the needle is down, and then just until it comes up just a hair. That way you've completed your stitch and you'll get a nice corner. If you don't come up with that needle like that, your stitch will go like diagonally across the corner. You know, it'll go like that instead of like a 90. So make sure, and then with your needle still down, lift your foot and then continue on. Right back where we started, do some back stitching. If you are trying to pull your work out of your machine and it won't pull easy, just take your hand wheel and just give it a couple little bumps and it'll unlock the hook mechanism in there. And then you'll be able to pull your thread out. Don't ever yank it. If it's not pulling out of there, there's something hung up. So that's pretty much how it should look, I think. It's not perfect, but I don't know, doesn't suck. Now we're going to put on the fuzzy Velcro. So this is the soft side. That will go on here on the bottom. So that's all finished. Velcro's on, webbing's on, binding's on. Now we've got the crunchy piece of Velcro. And that's going to go on the other side of this at the other end. that. So this is our main bag piece, and it needs a piece of Velcro in the front because that's what this piece eventually will stick to. So, crunchy one there. You want in the center of the front of the pouch. So you take your piece, fold it in half. And I'm sewing everything with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. So just finger press it so you can, when you flip it over, you can see the mark there. I'm going to put a hem at the top because I'm going to put a piece of shock cord in there, I think. So I want this Velcro, you know, I need to make sure that it's going to be below that hem. Okay, here's the main body of the bag. I just got it clipped where we sewed the Velcro on. So now we're just going to sew here. Just fold it over. You gotta make sure your seam flaps in the back are nice and flat. So here's the bottom panel of the bag. Again, it's a good idea to put a drainage hole in these things because, you know, sand or sticks or whatever it is that you're going to be using this for gets dirty. So I don't have grommets. I didn't buy any, and I didn't have any on hand. So I embroidered a circle like that, and then I'll just take my soldering iron in the center of it and burn that out. And the stitching will just be a little bit of reinforcement around that burn. But the burn will stop it from fraying. It'll just basically melt it through. If you don't have an embroidery machine and all that kind of stuff, then you'll probably want to use a grommet. So we're going to put the bottom panel on now. So take your bottom panel inside out, you know, your bad side. You got your bad side here, or your rubbery side, whatever. Same thing, just fold it, pinch it. You can mark it if you want. Do the same on the other bottom half here. So you've got your back panel here, and you want to make sure that's all nice and centered. I'm trying to put this where you can see it here. There we go. So you want to make sure this is nice and even. So you've got your back seam, and then you might want to mark it like where it meets in the front. Right there. That way you can line up your base piece properly. So you've got your tick marks lined up. The bottom, the bag, there's a seam. Then do the same thing with the ends. You can sew it like this. Make sure that, you know, reach in the bag and make sure that this far side of the fabric, you know, not here, but the other side of the fabric is out of the way of the needle, because you can sew the whole thing shut, and that sucks. Now in the corners, you come to them, take your foot off the pedal for one thing. Again, just like when you're doing a 90-degree corner, bury your needle, bring it up just a hair, and then you can bring your foot up and manipulate your fabric without worrying about losing your track. So I'm going to try to get this as kind of squarish as I can. It's pinned on the sides, so I can't really get terribly out of whack, I don't think. That's how that looks. Then I'll clip, once I turn this right side out and check it over, I'll clip these corners to relieve the stress on them. So to clip the corners, it's kind of self-explanatory. Here's a corner. You want to clip it. Not all the way to your stitching, of course, but just a little relief in there. You can do a couple of them if you think you need to. Like that. Okay, so that's how that is now. Now the next step is to put our flap on. Make sure that the other side of the bag is completely out of the way. I have to kind of turn the bag basically inside out to get it under there. You can kind of see inside there. Just basically turn it sort of inside out. Make sure everything's out of the way. I'm not going to sew over any other part of the bag. And the way that's on there creates a loop too. So like if you wanted to put it, if you didn't want to use the web attachments, with the, like PALS or Molly or whatever that is considered, you can like put it on your battle belt or your regular pants belt or whatever. Okay, here's the bag, it's finished. I've got a, almost finished I guess. I have to burn the hole in there. All the seams and everything are good. Quite a bit of space in there. Fold that like this. It'll probably take a couple times to get some creases in here to so where it folds like automatically kind of anytime you want to fold it up. That, like that. That's it. And picture it on your belt. Open that up. And you got your pouch. So that's the end of the tutorial on how to make a dump pouch. I didn't have a pattern or anything for this. I just saw the style online and I thought it was kind of cool. I liked how it was compact when you don't need it and plenty roomy when you did. It's really a clever design. So give it a shot. You'd be surprised what you can do. As always, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.